Rain poured from the sulfur-grey skies of Sector 9, streaking the neon-lit buildings and pooling into the cracked pavement below. Mira's thin cloak clung to her damp skin, her eyes wide and frantic beneath the hood. Her breath came in shallow bursts as she reached the 12th door. A red symbol blinked over the threshold. Access denied. Species, non-human. Mira's knees buckled, but she caught herself on the slick railing. 12 doors. 12 rejections. 12 moments of hope shattered into cold silence or disdainful glares. Please, she whispered to no one, pressing her hand to her stomach. The small bump beneath her fingers was barely visible, but every pulse of her heartbeat reminded her of it. Not just her life was at stake, but her unborn child's. Behind her, the sky thundered. The peace drones would patrol again soon. They scanned for undocumented aliens, especially hybrids. Capture meant termination. Her vision blurred. She looked up the corridor. Just one door remained. The 13th. Its matte black surface was unmarked, except for a scratched-out plaque. It didn't hum like the others. It didn't look like it had accepted guests in years. She limped to it, body aching. Lifting her trembling hand, she knocked. No buzz. No denial message. Just silence. Seconds dragged. She was about to turn away when the door clicked, a faint sound, but louder than the roaring rain behind her. It creaked open a few inches. A single eye peered out. Human. Tired. Middle-aged, with a scar cutting across his brow like a knife's memory. Mira's breath caught. I need sanctuary, she stammered. Please, show mercy. The man didn't speak at first. His eye flicked to her stomach. Then, to the smudge of dried blood at her temple. Finally, he opened the door. Inside was dim. Dust floated in the air like lost time. The man stepped back, allowing her in with a small nod. Mira hesitated, her body screaming to move. Then she entered. The door shut behind her with a final thud. The interior of the dwelling was simple. Metal walls, crates as furniture, a flickering monitor in the corner, and a small stove radiating a faint warmth. Mira stood near the entrance, unsure if she should remove her cloak. The man, still silent, walked over to a cabinet, pulled out a first aid kit, and tossed it gently on the table. You bleeding? Just scraped, she murmured. He grunted. Sit. She obeyed, legs giving in gratefully. The chair was rickety, but solid. Her hands trembled as she unwrapped her hood. Her teal hair tumbled out, mark of her half-Archan blood. Her pointed ears were a giveaway too. The man didn't flinch. He took a seat across from her, setting down a cracked ceramic mug of warm water. They'll come looking, he said after a long pause. I know. You on any registry? She shook her head. Child's father. Dead. Another pause. You got a name? Mira. I'm Tobias. The monitor behind him blinked. He turned it off with a remote, muting the growing broadcast of alien criminal alerts. I've lived in this sector for 20 years, Tobias said, leaning back in his chair. Watched it rot. Mira stared at him. Why did you let me in? He shrugged. 13's always been my number. Tobias let her stay. That night, Mira slept on an old cot in a room that smelled of oil and dust. Her dreams were tangled, flashes of screaming, blast of fire, her people rounded up like vermin. The father of her child, executed in the streets. She woke with a gasp, hand over her belly, heart hammering. But no drone sirens pierced the windows. No thudding boots came up the steps. Just the quiet hum of safety. Days passed. Mira helped where she could. She fixed a broken gear in Tobias's ventilation shaft. Cooked simple meals with whatever rations he had. She listened, silently, as he told fragmented pieces of his story. Once a medic in the Unity War. Served both humans and Archan. Watched friends bleed out from bad orders. Retired early, disillusioned. I stopped believing in causes, he muttered once. Started believing in people. One at a time. Mira didn't speak much. But Tobias noticed the way she stared out the window every night, one hand always on her stomach. She had a plan. You thinking of running again? He asked one evening. She nodded. There's a port shuttle out of Sector 9. But it's guarded. I have friends in the underground. One owes me. I can get through if I make it past the scanners. Tobias rubbed his jaw. You won't pass for human. I know. But I have something. She unwrapped a small metal band from a cloth pouch. A prototype dampener. Blurs biometrics for 10 minutes. Just enough time. Tobias inspected it. Impressed. Smart girl. The next night, they heard the sirens. Sector lockdown. A drone sweep in response to rebel activity nearby. Mira's eyes widened. They're scanning every building. Tobias was already moving. Basement. Now. She followed him through a concealed hatch. Below, a cramped crawlspace lined with pipes and old storage boxes. They'll only search upper levels, he whispered. Stay quiet. Mira crouched low, trying to calm her racing heart. Then she heard it. Footsteps. Heavy, deliberate, coming down the hall above. The door creaked open. Metallic voices echoed. Thermal readings. 2. Confirmed anomaly. Search authorized. Mira bit down on her knuckles to suppress a cry. Blasters cocked. Boots thudded. Then, a shout. Human male found. Alone. Pause. No hybrid signature detected. This location is cleared. She could barely breathe as they left. When she emerged hours later, Tobias looked pale but intact. He sat nursing a bruised rib. They roughed you up. Just a little dance, he grimaced. Didn't give you up. She stared at him. Why? He chuckled. I told you. One person at a time. She swallowed hard. The shuttle. I have to go. Tonight. While the lockdown thins. Tobias nodded. You sure? She touched her stomach. I have to be. The terminal was half-lit, its signage flickering erratically. Mira wore a patched-up coat, the dampener band hidden beneath the sleeve. Tobias walked beside her, limping slightly. They reached the checkpoint. Tobias hugged her suddenly. Tight, strong. You get on that shuttle, he said, voice thick. You raise that kid somewhere the stars don't burn so bright. Mira nodded, blinking away tears. The dampener pulsed faintly as she passed through the scanner. No alert. The guards waved her forward. A shuttle bay opened with a hiss. She looked back. Tobias stood at the edge of the light, one hand raised. She stepped inside. The ship launched into the dark skies. Mira sat by the window, hand over her belly, watching Sector 9 disappear beneath clouds. Her throat tightened. She whispered softly to her unborn child. Door 13. Always remember. That's the one that opened. And for the first time in what felt like forever, she smiled.